Meet Kevin. Meet Kevin is out with a video here. Rest in peace, Tesla. Getting very, very popular in the stock market community. Very controversial video here today to react to. 112,000 views in the last 18 hours. So obviously very popular video. A lot of people are talking about it. And I just wanted to kind of give my perspective, react to this one here today on the reaction channel, and kind of give my opinion of this video and the points that Kevin makes here. And also maybe, hopefully, a few things that maybe could be beneficial to Kevin himself as this video goes along. So thank you, everybody, that's joining me. As always, let's get straight into this. Thank you, everybody, that subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all, and let's go.
Now we got to do a summary. I am pissed. I am utterly pissed at Tesla for the absolute lack of presentation prep. Elon Musk was apparently up at 2 a.m. yesterday dicking around testing a new feature on Twitter Spaces, and now he's sitting on stage looking like he's about to fall asleep. It's no surprise that a presentation that Tesla was preparing to put on for the last, 6 months is a complete flop and a complete disaster. This felt like sitting in a video game with a shotgun, sitting outside of somebody's door camping them, only to realize that the people inside have logged off. Elon Musk has logged off from Tesla. This is disgusting. It took him reading all of the hate on Twitter to finally actually announce the Giga Mexico, which, wow, cat was already out of the bag 4 weeks ago.
So right off the bat, obviously Kevin is very upset. You know, it's very clear as day, right? Extremely upset. He's, saying he's pissed. He's saying this and that. And, right off the bat, in regards to, I think the points he's making off the bat here could be valid if this wasn't Elon Musk and if this wasn't Tesla and this was just another company out there. But you got to understand, Elon Musk has never been a type of person to bow down to investors and be like, "Ooh, let me put you guys together a pretty presentation here." He's never been that guy, ever. And so why would you ever expect something from somebody who has never shown you they're going to be good for that, right? Elon Musk has, if anything, okay, and I think this is important I explain this before we go any further in this video. And this is something I learned very early on when I first started investing in Tesla. You either got to be on the train of the Elon Musk train or off the train. There's no in between here. And when you invest into anything that Elon Musk is basically doing, is almost an approach, and Elon Musk would never say this himself, but there's almost a vibe like you're lucky. You're lucky to be investing in this, right? And it's almost like a little bit of a standoffish approach. This is why Elon Musk doesn't go out of his way to kiss everybody's butt and do, these elaborate presentations on Investor Day. And I'm going to sit up all night, prepping these slides and doing all this stuff. He's never been that type of guy, right? It's always been a little bit of a standoffish approach. Remember what happened with the SEC, right? Remember what happened when Elon Musk even talked down Tesla stock in the past, saying Tesla stock was overvalued. Remember when he talked about the company could get crushed like a souffle, which scared a bunch of investors, right? And time again, Elon Musk has shown to not bow down to investors, and he's going to do it his way, and you're just lucky to be on this train. And so at the end of the day, you can't, if this was Apple, for instance, totally different vibe. And if they did this same presentation, I would say, Kevin, you are 100% right to be mad about this, because this is flipping flapjack and Apple. They're always supposed to have these great presentations to put together, and that's that sort of company. You would expect that executive team. But at Tesla, this is a whole different ball game here. And to expect something from Tesla like you would expect it from Apple, let's say, for instance, or Microsoft, it's so unrealistic. It's not even funny. This is not that sort of company at all. It's never been, and probably as long as Elon Musk is running this show, it probably never will be that type of company.
Bloomberg announced it, and yesterday, look, Elon's falling asleep here. Come on, man, he can barely keep it up. And that's right. If you want to lose a boner, this was a 4-hour presentation for you. This was disgusting. Now, look, I already hear it. I hear the people going, "Oh, but Kevin, if you're really a long-term investor and you're not a trader, you should be buying the dip." You don't get it. Most humans evaluate a company and how they feel about the company by the stock price. That matters for the damn retail community and for the employees. You don't have to talk to me.
No, they don't, Kevin. In all due respect, traders do. You do. You're a trader, Kevin. We know this. You refuse to acknowledge yourself as a trader, but we know you're a trader. We know this, Kevin. You're not an investor. You've never been an investor. And so you might evaluate it this way, but investors are looking at many other various things other than just like whatever happens with the stock price in the short term. And I can tell you, no big players are making their investment decisions in Tesla based upon if the presentation was great yesterday or bad yesterday or something in between yesterday, which if anything, I felt like it was kind of more in between. I don't think it was necessarily the greatest show ever, right? I also didn't think it was horrible. I thought there was many valuable points they brought up throughout that. So, you know, I think we got to decipher between what traders feel and what investors feel in regards to the stock. If investors really hated that presentation yesterday, this stock would be down 25, 35% today, okay? It would be down off a cliff. But investors don't really look at it that perspective. That's why the stock's down 5, 6, whatever, 7% it is today, right? Because the traders that were FOMOing into this one, hoping magically they were going to announce some new car, which was completely unrealistic. And I told everybody that prior to the presentation, they're not going to announce a new car. That would be horrible decision, right? They all got excited about some new car that was going to be launched for whatever reason. And obviously that didn't come to fruition. Thank goodness. As a long-term investor, I would be much more judgmental about this company if they launched a car in this presentation rather than what they did. That would have been ridiculous.
Long-term investing, I get it. When I see long-term trends, I flip-flop, and I tell everyone about it. This is why you should...
When you see long-term trends, you flip-flop? Oh my gosh.
Point. The course is in the psychology of money, because when the facts change, you should change your mind. It's simple. There's a flash sale that I actually aligned its expiration for with the alignment of Tesla.
God. Okay, so first off here, you know, in regards to his whole thing, you know, when the facts change, you got to change. The problem with that is, and this goes back to trading once again, is the facts are always changing constantly. And so you have to decipher, like, what is a real, like, long-term trajectory of something. Even the facts change with Tesla in growth rates, in pricing, right? Things are always changing in the economy. Inflation comes in better than expected, worse than expected. The Fed's going to raise rates more. They're going to not raise rates as much, right? All these things are constantly changing. If you're changing your opinion on buying and selling stocks based upon what's going on all the time out there, you're a trader, you can do that. You're going to play the time in the market game. You're likely going to get worse results over the long term if you're playing that whole, I'm in, I'm out, I got to sell the stock now because the facts change. The whole everything changed. It's like, did really everything change, or did they have one bad quarter, right? And these are things you have to decipher. How's their industry doing versus their peers? And really try to figure out if this is bad stuff for the long term or if this is just kind of a short-term blip there. And so the whole, you know, flip-flopping, I change when this changes, like, stuff is always changing.
Investor Day, because I didn't think it would be this pathetic. This is now embarrassing that the expiration of the flash sale aligns, where you get lifetime access for the programs on building your wealth, with this presentation, because it was a joke. Now, some people are like, but Kevin, if you were an engineer, you would appreciate the information. Hello, they presented 99% of all of the information they talked about today in other presentations. They used the same damn graphics. They used virtually the same damn information as they did on AI Day and Battery Day. We barely got anything else. We basically got the
Kevin, have you seen, okay, so first off, you know, Kevin should be super in the know in the Tesla community and what Tesla's up to, right? And as most sophisticated Tesla investors are, right? But in terms of an investor day like that, I have no problem with them reusing some slides or information or whatnot, because what I see is I see Wall Street, big money, a lot of them still very uneducated about Tesla. And so I have no problem that they're going to reiterate a lot of that information, because I look at every time I turn on CNBC, like, I would say 8 out of 10 times Tesla gets brought up. I see people talking about Tesla that have not even done in-depth research in the company and really have no flip and flapjack and clue what's going on at Tesla. So if anything, I would rather Tesla give some of the same information that they've been given in the past and try to get it out there right in an investor day like this, because these folks are so behind on Tesla. Like the way they talk about Tesla, the points they bring up, I'm like, what? You guys like barely understand base level around Tesla, if even base level. Like there's levels to like understanding what's going on at Tesla, right? And most of these Wall Streeters are like, on a level of like 2 of understanding what's going on with Tesla. So if anything, they need to keep pushing out this information more and more and more. And it's like, what does Kevin want here? Them to just change all these plans and change all their strategies and ideas? It doesn't really work like that.
Robot jerking some sort of object up and down and like basically trying to envision it building itself. Great. The last thing I want is a robot being able to jerk itself. Okay. Look, what we need, Tesla.
This is advice for Kevin, okay? If you see this video, this is my advice for you, okay? You now ask people to give their money to you so you can invest it for them, right? Whether it be in your real estate thing you're trying to do or whether it be in your ETF, right? And, I was, before this video, I was like, let me just check on assets under management for the ETF, right? I think you need to be at like 40 or 50 to break even on that. I think you're under 20 right now, right? And so like that, along with the real estate thing, I think it's going to be very hard to attract the sort of money you're looking for when you are behaving like this, when you're acting like this, whether this is for show or whether this is how you really feel. I almost feel like it'd be better if this is just for show and you're acting like this for entertainment purposes. But the thing is, you can't be Jim Rogers and you can't be Jim Cramer at the same time. You gotta really ask yourself, and I think you gotta be real with yourself. Do you want to be taken seriously from the perspective of asking people to invest their money? Like, how are you going to get a guy to invest $500,000 with you, $1 million with you, right? If you're behaving like this, right? You're using this word choice. You're talking about what you're talking about here. You're acting very erratic. Like, big money's not going to make decisions like that. They're just not. They're going to be like, that's okay. He's entertaining, but I'm not going to invest my money with him. So, in all due respect, if you really want to attract big money, you've got to change your mindset, your behavior. All this stuff has to switch in a major, major way. You won't be able to attract the sort of money that really, let's just call it revs up what your possibilities are with your house program there and with your ETF, man. Because other than that, people are going to watch this and you're talking about this, you're acting erratic, and it's just like for big money, it's a huge turnoff. For people that want to be entertained, they could love this. Like, Kevin's being funny. He's talking about the robot doing this. Oh, he's talking about, all these things. It's entertaining, but once again, do you want to be Jim Cramer or do you want to be, a successful person at investing folks' money and attracting money to be able to invest, right? And I can tell you, when you're behaving like this, it's just not the vibe, man.
Investors need is an investor day that is a thank you to investors, a roadmap to investors. This was a middle finger to Tesla stock investors. This is how you burn the stock and create a downtrend. It's almost as bad as Elon dumping $24 billion worth of shares in 2022 to go focus on being the CEO of Twitter. Now, why hasn't he left being the CEO?
It's not even close, in my opinion. The Twitter situation was... These aren't even on the same scale. What the investor day yesterday versus the whole Twitter situation is not even on the same scale. Stop it, Kevin.
Of Twitter yet to go back to Tesla because he's too distracted with new features over there. Now, don't get me wrong. I like some of the new features, okay? I think they're doing a good job over there, but it's a middle finger to Tesla. And what you saw today with this presentation at Tesla was basically what Tesla looks like without Elon Musk. And you know what the reality is? It's bad because you just gave a middle finger, not just to Tesla investors, which, by the way, Elon Musk basically said the whole event was clickbait. He said, oh, yeah, by the way, this isn't really investor day for stock investors. It's an investor day for people who are investing in Earth. That is almost as bad.
He already said that. He already talked about that like last week. He posted, I think it was on Twitter or something, on what it was about. Once again, it leads into if people just actually spend some more time and actually thought about this and just sat in a room and thought about it, you realize what Elon Musk was up to here. That's why I wasn't hyped about it. That's why I didn't do a preview of what they're going to talk about Investor Day. Did you see me do a preview? No, because I knew it was going to be a joke. Maybe I was the only one in the world that knew this was going to be nothing. Oh gosh.
It's literally the lady who's in charge of sustainability going up on stage and suggesting that, did you know the Model 3 has less emissions than a typical ICE vehicle? No shit, lady. It's an electric car. What is this? This was like an introduction to people who've never experienced Tesla before. This was not an investor day. This was like how to put someone to sleep with white noise day, or maybe if somebody's never caught up on all the other crap, it was a presentation.
And by the way, Kevin, just once again, so we're clear on this. Most of Wall Street's not caught up on what's really going on with Tesla. They understand, if anything, the most baseline stuff around Tesla. And for Tesla, it's about if they want to, like people, they don't need to convince me. There's nothing they needed to show me yesterday to convince me that, oh gosh, I got to hold my Tesla shares or buy more shares. No, I'm already on the train. I've been on the train for a long, long time, man. Years and years, since like 2018, 2019? Like, they don't need to convince me. But they do need to convince the next person that, let's call it, has $100 million, $500 million, a few billion dollars of assets under management. They do need to attract those folks.
Regurgitated updates with barely any actual announcements. Only hints of maybe we'll have some kind of new vehicles in the future via their sort of clickbait cover-ups of vehicles.
Why would they announce stuff, Kevin? I feel like you should understand marketing as well as anybody, right? Why would they? That would be so stupid, man. Why would they ever announce new vehicles, new products? They hint around to some stuff, and that's all they should do in a day like this. You don't show something off. You don't talk in depth about we're going to do this, we're going to do that. No, that throws off the whole vibe of do that in Investor Day. No, man, you do that at an actual product presentation. And I gave this analogy, I think, in my Tesla video yesterday, right? It'd be like Apple showing off the iPhone 15 at an Apple Investor Day. Like, are you kidding me? You don't do that, man. Or here's our mock-ups of the next iPhone 15. Talk about ruining the vibe. No, that'd be the worst marketing strategy in the world. Come on, man.
But we already suspected that something like that would happen in the future anyway. Generation 3 platform is all about potentially more affordable, cheaper vehicles in the future. Okay, great. They have projections that maybe in the future they'll produce 300 million of those things that look like Mercedes Sprinter vans, which would be crew, aka passenger vans or cargo vans on the left, and then a little thing on the right that looks like a Model 2. It's probably the two-door sedan for the Chinese market. But otherwise, this was really a clickbait presentation. This was not an investor presentation. This was a pump for the shorts. This was a Tesla Q presentation. Yeah, you're expecting your Model Q? That's exactly what you got. And it explains why in the last 2 days, Tesla has burned over 10% of their market cap. Because rather than spend $1 million on a proper PR staff that could have helped you all year long, you just decided instead to burn $60 billion thanks to this presentation. This was an
$60 billion, Kevin. What are we talking about here, man? What are we talking about here? They didn't burn $60 billion. Now you're talking about how Tesla's market cap moves. Tesla market cap in a week or a month can move tens of billions of dollars or hundreds of billions of dollars. That's no news. That's just ridiculous that you're even making that point. And that's a point that I think if somebody's not educated on the market, they would hear that and be like, oh my gosh, Tesla just burned $60 billion. Anybody that's educated on the market is rolling their eyes what are we talking about here, man? Come on.
Competent service to investors. And yeah, there were tiny little announcements. I'll give you the bottom lines right now. But those were basically next to zero. They were they were indistinguishable updates from zero. It was not worth the 4 hours. It was a waste of time. And this was an example of what happens when you have the Tesla staff who's basically told, hey, look, Elon's master plan 3 is scale. Can you all talk about your own departments and come up with your own crap? I guarantee you this presentation was not reviewed by anyone in aggregate. Everybody decided to put their stupid puzzle pieces together, and the puzzle looks like shit. That's what this presentation was. This was a disgrace to Tesla investors. This should not have been called a Tesla Investor Day. This should have been called a Tesla Short Day. Now, look.
I don't know why Kevin's so stressed. This man is stressed like a mother. I'm like, holy smokes. And I'm just trying to figure out why he's so stressed. He is, it's insane. His stress levels are off the charts.
Okay, great. They start with how 80% of energy today comes from fossil fuels. If we put the entire world on sustainable energies, it would only take about 1/3 as much energy. Or actually, they said half as much energy if you go to sustainables. That's great. But right now, 1/3 of the energy we use.
It cracks me up when people expect things of others that, they've never shown you, they're that type of person, right? Does he remember... I would love if I was talking to Kevin. We used to do Millennial Money back in the day, man. If we did one of those episodes, I would say, Kevin, Do you remember when they launched Cybertruck, the most talked about, most hyped vehicle in history? Okay, Elon Musk just came out and babbled about it like he does all the time, which is Elon Musk. You got to expect that. He's going to come out and babble. It's not going to be really that well put together. Do you remember they threw the ball at the windshield that wasn't supposed to break and it broke and it cracked? Do you remember that, Kevin? This is a company that for the most talked about vehicle in the history of the world, the Cybertruck, cracked the dang windshield in their presentation. And you expect this company to put together some, oh my gosh, mind-blowing presentation for investors? What are we talking about here, man? Like, come on. Oh gosh, I don't know why he's so into like having the stock price go up in the short term. I don't know. It's strange is the best way I could describe it. Strange, and he just looks stressed like crazy.
Gets wasted in the form of waste heat. We really need like 240 terawatts of storage, and they give some numbers that equals like 30 terawatt hours of renewable energy production plus the storage. And the battery systems are great because they have management systems that make it so that utilities can use renewables with reliable uptime rather than the systems coming down. Basically, in order to have the storage needs that the world would need, you'd need about 61.5 million megapacks. They only produce about 10,000 a year. So great, yes, Tesla's going to 61 or 6,100x. Fantastic, okay? So they want to do 20 million vehicles. We heard that a million times before. Yeah, they showed us a cover-up car. They showed us a cover-up car 2 or 3 years ago as well. Nothing new. Okay, they want to go mostly with EV, and they can even maybe in the future use EV because electricity can make methane, which means you could even create rockets out of electric vehicle or out of electric batteries, but you probably need hydrogen for some certain commercial applications. Fantastic. We don't really need nickel and batteries except for long-range boats, aircrafts, and cars. Fantastic. The vast majority of cells in the future will be iron-based, and we're not going to use rare earth metals. So basically, RIP MP Materials. Big FU to MP Materials as well from the Elon Musk team. Fantastic. Okay, what's Tesla's contribution to better manufacturing? Folks, it's space efficiency. 30% more space efficiency by basically, rather than assembling the car entirely on the assembly line, you basically divide it up into little quadrants.
Kevin's acting like this isn't a big deal. This was a massive deal. And this is something like an investor like myself loves, okay? When they were talking about potentially cutting the manufacturing space by 40%, Kevin's like just acting like this isn't a big deal. This is a huge deal. This is massive. It can completely change the Tesla's CapEx in the future for building gigafactories. It could completely change the margin profile of building a Tesla in the future. And, remember, Tesla's a company that just is still in the learning phase of major manufacturing. Like, this company just started to really scale his business over the past few years. Imagine the progress they're going to make over the next few years. Kevin kind of writes it off here, and I'm like, dude, this is a huge deal. You can't just, act like this isn't some big thing.
Parts. I don't really care what you call it. You divide it up into little pieces. Everybody completely assembles it and paints it in different pieces. And really what they're trying to allude to is that the Optimus will in the future do all these different segments at the same exact time and put it together. Yes, long-term investor, that's freaking great. Did they properly convey that message? Abso-freaking-lutely not. Instead, Elon Musk is talking about the ratios of GDP. He's basically telling you, look, in the future, when we divide this car into different segments, we're going to be able to have robots assemble this damn car 10 times as fast as humans can do it now. Is that what Tesla told you? No, because they had an incompetent presentation. And I'm pissed off that they don't seem to care about communication. This is like literally I shouldn't use certain words. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to say it. But the presentation was on... I'm not going to say it. Anyway, so leave a comment in terms of what I'm trying to say, okay? All right, great.
Yeah, Elon Musk has never been known for the best communication. If you've ever tracked Elon Musk over time, he's never been known for that, man. Never. Do you remember when he was just going to take the company private at 420 out of blue air one day? It's like, you can't expect things from Elon Musk that are Elon Musk is his own character in this world, okay? And he's gonna be the way he's going to be. And if you expect him to be anything different, he's not going to be that thing you want him to be.
4x less copper in the new system. Oh, wait, and that wasn't even from the investor presentation. That was from Elon Musk replying to someone on Twitter. The Optimus showed itself being built. Okay, whatever, that's not a big deal. Okay, they didn't find any useful gearboxes. They had to custom make stuff. Okay, they can make 12-volt batteries cheaper, and everybody's going to go from the 12-volt architecture or to the 40-volt architecture, or they're going to die. Fantastic. Their computers are faster. Their AI is the best in the world. Blah, blah, blah. The S and X have eliminated...
yeah, their AI is the best in the world, blah, blah, blah. Like, what are we talking about? It just seems like Kevin, I'll be honest, this is about enough for me. It just seems like he's wrapped up in the stock price short term. He's stressing like crazy. I don't know what for. I don't know if he needs Tesla stock to pump in the short term. I don't know. Okay. But he's acting like the huge things that we're talking about don't even matter, and just like completely unrealistic expectations for individuals that never shown you they're those type of people when it comes. I've seen a lot of people put together great investor presentations and these sorts of things, and ultimately their stocks have faltered. I've invested in the companies that they had great presentations. They told you all this and that, and they gave you a great pitch. And what did those companies do? Fail. Okay, I've been there. And so if you're going to judge an investment just based upon how good the presentation is in the story, they're going to tell you, I'm just telling you, you're not quite doing this game right. And I don't know why Kevin's stressing like crazy. I don't know, man. If it's the PJ, Kevin, I'm just going to be honest, get rid of that freaking thing, okay? You said it's $70,000 plus a month. Get rid of that freaking thing. Dude, get rid of it. Like, come on, man. Like, it's not worth the stress. It's not worth the stress, man. I'm telling you, because it's too much. It's too much, okay? All right, appreciate y'all. Much love as always. Woo-wee. And have a great day.